Hey guys, I just got home from work today, so I'm going to make some homemade lasagna. I already pre-prepped. I made my sauce the other day. I roasted tomatoes from our garden, cooked it down with some old red wine, some balsamic, some herbs that I had, so all natural. Tastes amazing. Even threw a jalapeno in there to give it a little spice. So I had the sauce all set, sat 24 hours in the refrigerator, nice and cold, kind of having those flavors come together. And I prepped the dough, so all I have to do is press it out in my KitchenAid mixer to make the strips for the lasagna. I'm going to brown up some beef now with some onions and garlic and get to work. Kind of show you what I'm working. So I got a little bit of like this cheese, not the best one for you. And of course I got some fresh mozzarella, and I grabbed some of this. It was a manager special, so we'll just shred that up. That'll work real nice. There's my homemade sauce. It's delicious. This is the dough I already pre-made. I get some garlic and everything together for the browning of the beef and to put it in the pan. Okay, so one of the things I learned when I ground my beef is to use some good olive oil in the pan before putting the meat in. I guess it really helps to brown it up. I know you would think like, no, not a good idea because the beef already has oil, but that's not the case. It still requires that olive oil to have that nice flavor and the not stick, and the natural fats will still come out. However, because I get my meat from a butcher, there's ever like no fat. It's that lean. It's amazing. So if you haven't already, find a local butcher. It's so worth purchasing meats from them and putting them in a deep freezer. I think it's pretty good for your health and tastes delicious. Get it nice and hot. Let it sizzle. Alright guys, hey, I got my little ghosties on. I'm rooting for fall. I'm a huge fall fan. And Halloween, love it. Anyhow, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in some ricotta cheese here. And an egg, of course. And probably some shredded cheese in here. Now, if you don't like ricotta, you can swap that out for mascarpone, cream cheese, or even just sour cream. And I'm going to put a little extra sour cream in mine too, just give it a kick. And, you know, I'm a big fan of usually buying store brands because I think they're just as good. However, that's not always the case. And that is not the case with sour cream either. I've found that the Daisy's sour cream tastes so much better. So I'll spend the extra money on that because the quality is so much better. So speaking of the garden, you know, I got a lot of eggplant this year, and I could throw that in this lasagna, but I was kind of thinking about it. I know you can probably sneak it in, but my kids will probably tell, so I'm not going to put it in it this time. But that also reminds me of moussaka, which is Greek, and it's like the Greek lasagna. They put lasagna, meat, and they use eggplant, and they use phyllo dough though instead of the noodle that we use, you know. So this is more Italian style the way I'm doing it tonight, but you can use your imagination. Now I went ahead and whipped up the cheeses together. Okay, here's my cheese filling. The Dutch cheese shredded really nice in there, really creamy texture. And I put some pepper and salt, and you could add some infusion in there. You could probably put some fresh herbs in there as well, but I already have a lot of fresh herbs in the sauce, so I feel like I got that covered pretty well. I'm doing the ground beef now, and I might throw a little Italian seasoning on this just to give it a little extra something. Now you could also take it a little step, kick it up a notch a little bit more if you like. I don't know about you, but I love black truffle and white truffle sauces and flavors. They're just delicious, but you have to have a taste for them. So with that said, you could put some of that in here if you really wanted to. However, it's not for everybody, so don't feel like you have to. So I've got my Italian seasoning here, and go ahead and put some on there. You can put as much or as little as you want. It's really up to you and your flavor palette. I just love having all those intense, robust flavors come together and just kind of, you know, melt in your mouth. Give it a little tang. So that's what I kind of like doing, and I'm just chopping it up. I love this thing. It's ready to chop up meat, this little device. And so that's almost cooked. Now, what we'll do with this is we'll actually take it and we'll add some of the sauce I made. So it'll be like a meat sauce. And then I'm going to press out this dough in my KitchenAid mixer. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, oh my gosh, get yourself one. If there's a way you can put it on as a present for yourself, do it. It's so worth it. I cannot tell you how many times I've used mine. I got mine in '05 as a wedding gift, and I use it all the time. I make butter with it, pasta, cakes, cookies. I mean, so many things. It's just an amazing piece of equipment, very versatile, and definitely worth every penny. Anyhow, so I have the press here, and I'll start it up on a high notch, and as I press it through, I'm going to go lower and lower until it's nice. I like a thinner texture for mine. You can make it thicker if you like a thicker noodle. It's always up to your preference. Again, this is just really tailored to what you like. And because I work today, that's why I prepped a lot when I had my day off, so that today I could put it together fresh. Now, another thing you could have done, I could have put this all together on my day off and just kept it in the freezer and just cooked it up, or the refrigerator. There's nothing wrong with that. I just felt like this time I didn't really want to do that. I really want to just make it super, super together, kind of fresh together. I don't know, just kind of how I felt. Plus, I needed to get more cheese and not have enough cheese. So I had to pick up some more of that so that it would taste a little bit better. I'm just stirring up the meat. Okay, so next we're gonna finish up that meat sauce, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get these sheets rolled, and I'll assemble it and show you how that's done. Okay, one of the things I like to do is I like to go ahead and take this homemade sauce, and I put a little olive oil around. I'm trying to get away from all those sprays that you can spray on. They're not good for you. I'd like to get some avocado spray, but again, I haven't been to the store. So olive oil works great, but I like to take a little bit of the sauce, and I'm going to put some at the bottom first, just to kind of coat the bottom with a nice regular sauce before I use the rest of the sauce inside the meat sauce. Okay, so I've got the meat sauce all mixed together. This has the meat and the sauce, and it looks good. Again, I got the cheese sauce. I've got my pan prepped and ready. Before I heat my oven, though, I'm going to press this out, and then I'll heat my oven while I assemble. I took the dough, I just broke it up in 3/4. The outside discoloration sometimes happens with the air oxidation in the olive oil, but it's fine. Nothing to worry about it. You'll see as it presses out, it'll look really, really pretty. Alright, so I'm just going to put it in here. This one 8. Really push it through one time. It's going to kind of come right through. Wonderful. And then you just come over here and I'm going to drop it about halfway. Number 4. I'm just going to feed it into there. And this is where you see it's like really starting to stretch out. Again, everybody likes it differently. Do your texture the way you want. I like mine really thin. I just think it gives it more of a delicate, lighter, fluffier taste. And as they get long, obviously, you can see where we're going to be able to cut these and make our strips for our lasagna. All right, so we did a lot. We have the lasagna rolled out. If it gets sticky, you could always put flour. Mine was in the refrigerator long enough that it was nice and cold, so it was easier to work with. I went ahead and put down a base sheet, and now I'm just going to layer. So what I like to do, and everybody's different, again, your preference, I put a layer of the meat sauce that I have here, then I'll put a layer of the noodle, and you can do different directions. It doesn't all have to be straight across. You can crisscross, and that might give you a little bit better of a stable type of piece when you cut, but that's always up to you. Then I do a layer of cheese, and I keep going until I run out. And then at the very top, I just put a whole bunch of shredded cheese, maybe a little bit of butter, and maybe some foil on top. And I let that bake for a while to really get those juices and everything melting. And then I take the foil off and let it brown up. With it being fresh pasta, it cooks a lot faster. So it's not as long of a bake like you normally would. And if you've never made fresh pasta, I encourage you to try it. I'm not a master by any means. I have so much to learn, but I've come a far way since the beginning, and it's pretty easy to make the dough and to get going with it. Hopefully I can master more with it. Okay, so as you can see, this is the before going in. I'm going to throw some foil on it. I'll show you when it comes out how it looks. And again, know that if you didn't put as much cheese on the top, or you didn't want to go as much cheese, you can definitely put just some sauce on top, just to give it that moisture it needs. I feel like I have enough going on here, so we're good, but you could do that. Just know it's an option. And I just hand shredded all this cheese with the little grater. I'd rather do that. I didn't use the processed cheese, still unopened. So, anywho, let's see how it goes. Alright guys, so I got lasagna in the oven, and I've cleaned up my kitchen, wiped everything down, got all the dishes done. Love having it nice and clean, vacuumed up. And now we just wait, go take a shower, get my jammies, and get ready for dinner. Alright guys, so I took my shower and my lasagna's ready. Let's take a look. Yummy, yummy. Still bubbling. It's so hot. This is going to be delicious.